Genesis 18 tells us that um, the Lord appeared unto him. And this is Abraham. And it says that it appeared to him in the plains of Mamre and sat in the tent in the door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. So obviously he perceived and understood that they were of God, that it was the Spirit of the Lord. They were men of God, which was probably to be the interpreted angels. And he bowed himself toward the ground and said, My Lord, if thou now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and I wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the earth. And Abraham ran, it says in the scripture, unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man. And he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk and calf, which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he took by them under the tree, and they did eat. And when they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. Now remember, Sarah was barren. And so this is a miraculous thing that the angels are saying to Abraham. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah was old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah which after the manner of women, which means she no longer could bear children. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child which am old? Which lets us know God can hear that stuff in our minds and in our thoughts, and the things that we say to ourselves or say out loud in a chuckle, whatever the situation is. God hears it and he sees it. And that's why it's really, really important to come correct with God, come honest. And the scripture goes on to say, and then Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Which means she was judging after the natural. She was judging after the flesh, the inability of human beings to be able to have children up in their 90s and in their 80s. But the scripture plainly describes a God that can do the impossible, that's not limited by natural things. He's not limited by the course of life and by the function of the human body. Then it goes on to say, And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? This is what the Lord is saying to the fact that Sarah chuckled in disbelief. God said, Is anything too hard for the Lord? And I'm sharing this because many people believe that in their situation, some things are too hard for the Lord. Nothing's too hard for the Lord. All things are possible to him that believe. And it says, is anything too hard for God? And this is the 18th chapter of the book of Genesis, the 14th verse I'm reading. At the time appointed, I will return unto thee. Basically said, I said what I said, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. He said, I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. So the Lord saying, basically, stop lying. You did laugh. And it goes to show that God hears. Sarah didn't know that the Lord could hear, but the Lord can hear beyond walls. He can hear because he's not limited to time and space, material and composites. He's God, and all things are naked and before him, according to the scripture. Even the thoughts of our hearts, the words that we say that aren't maybe even verbally spoken, God hears the thoughts and intents of the heart. And then it goes on to say, then Sarah denied, saying that I laughed not. She was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And so I just wanted to share how important it is to come correct, how important it is to understand that God already sees what we do. He always hears what we say and the things we don't say, the unspoken words. She said this, she laughed, and God sees when we don't believe. In her laugh was the cunning expression of unbelief. And so we cannot please God with a fake praise. We cannot please God with a fake worship. We cannot please God saying what we really don't believe. We must believe God, for all things are possible to him that believe.